Okay, so this right here is called the Berlin Tablet. And the Berlin Tablet was found in Jackson County, Ohio. And Jackson County is circled right here. It is right next to Cincinnati, Ohio. And actually, all of these artifacts that we're going to be talking about, this right here is the Wilmington Tablet. It was found in Wilmington, which is also near Cincinnati. And of course, this right here is the Cincinnati tablet. We've talked about it before. Is found in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it's actually found on a street called Mound Street because it was found in a burial mound. And the street is named after said burial mound. So, this right here is the Berlin tablet. Now, what do I think these tablets are and why do I think they're all connected in some way, shape, or form? Well, the connection is actually guaranteed because they are all said to be built by the Adena culture, or created by the Adena culture. And they were all interred in a similar way within burial mounds. And they were all, as you just saw, found in the general vicinity of one another, all found near Cincinnati, Ohio. So what exactly do I think these ancient tablets are? These tablets would be over 2,000 years old. Well, I think these tablets are potentially star maps. Now, what exactly is a star map? Well, it is a map that depicts the stars that would have been used by ancient people to navigate correctly, to navigate somewhere and then be able to navigate back. So, why would they need a star map in this time? Well, they would have had an expansive trade network within this time period, and we know this because a lot of interments from the mound building societies were filled with goods that were not found in their burials locations. Things such as copper from the Great Lakes, obsidian from out west towards the Rocky Mountains, or even potentially in South America near the Mayan Empire, or where the Aztec Empire was as well. So, we know for sure that there was a trade network. How exactly did they fulfill this trade network and navigate with this trade network? Well, I think they used things like star maps, like we are seeing here. So, you might see it, you might not. But I'm going to try my best to kind of decode or decipher some of these. And we'll see what we can't come up with. So, like I said, you may have seen the video on the first one that I did with the Cincinnati tablet here. I'll go ahead and leave that video in the description and the comments if you want to check that out. But I'm pretty much going to be regurgitating most of what's in that video and put it into this video. So I'm going to cover a new one for the first segment. This, like I said, is the Berlin tablet. Now, why do I think that this is depicting a star map? Well, let's go ahead and show you the stars, right? So these little circles would be what I think these stars. And this right here, this big giant one right here, I don't think is depicting a star. I think it's potentially depicting the moon, which we will also see in another tablet, the Cincinnati tablet. I believe that these are depicting moons here. But, so we got that out of the way. We got the moon. We've got the stars. Now, what are the swirls? What are these? Now, at first, I thought that these were potentially depicting clouds to say, that they are in fact stars, or it is more of an artistic expression of sorts. But after further analysis and further thinking, I came to the conclusion that these swirls throughout the tablets are in fact the locations of which the stars move throughout the night, the pathways that the stars would move throughout the night. As you guys know, as night progresses, the stars will move. Now, it might not even be based on throughout the night. It might not be based on an hourly thing or a daily thing. It might be more based on seasons and a seasonal change as well. It could be showing where stars move towards the season. So, we got that out of the way. Now, the thing that's most interesting, aside from the fact that all of these tablets were found in the same exact location, and this one right here is definitely the most controversial for the theory, mainly because of these weird patterns here. It could have potentially been used as something else, but we're going to delve into that in a minute. The interesting thing, aside from the location of which these were found and the fact that they were built by the same culture, and the fact that this culture had a very expansive trade network, is also the fact that they are all also very similarly designed, right? Also with their own unique twist to them, but they are all within the same design. Now, another interesting aspect of these things potentially being used as a star map along a trade network is the fact that they are all nearly the same exact size, around 6 inches or 5 inches in length and roughly 3 to 6 inches in width. Every single one of them varies in this size. The Wilmington tablet you see here is 5 inches long and 3.8 inches wide and 0.6 inches thick, whereas the Cincinnati tablet here is 5 inches long, 3 inches in width, and 0.5 inches thick. And then we have the Berlin tablet, which is roughly the same, about 6 inches long and about 3 inches wide. It doesn't say how thick it is, but... So they are all roughly the same size, and this would be the perfect size, if you think about it, about 5 to 6 inches, not that wide, not that thick, fairly light. They would all potentially be perfect for using on a trade network to travel with, right? It would be a perfect little tablet to have on traveling through a trade route, especially if the trade route is very long and very vast, which potentially these trade routes would be stretching upwards of, thousands of miles if they go all the way down into Mesoamerica. Now, I don't believe that one person would traverse thousands of miles. I believe that the trade network was interconnected. They would be passing through different hands throughout the trade network. One person would probably travel, max a couple hundred miles, but you still need navigation to do so. So I think that these are the perfect use case for that. And I truly think that these are depicting stars. Now let's look at the controversial one here. So some people theorize that these tablets are used for stamping pottery or other clay artifacts, right? They think that potentially these were used as a decorative means. And I don't disagree with that. I think that is certainly a possibility, especially when you look at the tablet here, the Wilmington tablet. This definitely depicts what you could say to be some sort of pottery stamping, especially when you look at the patterns here. But it still seems indicative of the same star maps that I'm seeing on the Cincinnati tablet and the Berlin tablet here. So I don't know. These are interesting to me. This could serve as, some sort of other function. I don't know. It could be potentially mapping out an important part of the terrain. I thought that as well. It could be mapping out like an important part of the terrain, perhaps a higher ground area or something of that nature. I don't know. But one thing you do notice down here, if you didn't see it, there's also a smiley face, which is kind of funny. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Now, that is one thing I do want to mention, though, is that the little smiley face here, these lines here, that is a little bit different than, these other ones here. I haven't seen these little lines on these other tablets here. So, not really 100% sure about this one, guys. This one is a bit of an anomaly and definitely could potentially contradict the star map theory. And I am certainly open-minded when it comes to this theory. This is not a set-in-stone thing by any means. But one thing I wanted to mention, too, is that this down here, it seems that these are always... God, that is terrible drawing. Sorry about that. But this down here, this circle down here, is, I think, depicting the moon once again. Now, that seems to be a common theme, is that they seem to depict one bigger object, celestial object, on these star maps. And I believe that this is the moon here. I believe that this is the moon here. And for the Cincinnati tablet, I believe that this is the moon here. Now, this was the first video that I covered, was the Cincinnati tablet here. So like I said, make sure to go check that video out. But if you notice that these ones here are significantly bigger than these other ones. And yeah, so that seems to be a common theme as well. Of course, like I said before, the pathways of which these are going, it seems to be indicative of trying to portray the way these stars would move, perhaps throughout a season or perhaps throughout, you know, the night. So let me know what you guys think about this. Highly recommend checking out the Cincinnati tablets video. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention before we end the video. So one interesting aspect of the Cincinnati tablet here that kind of contradicts, in my opinion, it contradicts the theory that these were used as some sort of stamping object for like clay pottery or whatever the case may be, some sort of artistic expression, is if you take a look at the Cincinnati tablet here, it has these odd gashes on the back. Now, as you can see, there are 3 gashes. There's actually a 4th down here, and there's also weird pecking at the top here. I haven't been able to really figure out the pecking at the top. But focusing on the gashes, these would obviously serve no real purpose for artistic expression, I don't think. And I theorized that these gashes are potentially indicating the amount of generations that this tablet has passed through, or potentially the amount of trips that one of these traders would have taken with this tablet. Now, these trade routes would have been used for generations and generations, for one, and they also would have been very treacherous routes to take. You wouldn't take them very often in one's lifetime. Potentially, you know, I don't know. They would probably take them more than 4 times. So my theory leads more towards that this is a generational thing, and this could have potentially passed through, say, 4 different generations of people, because these trade routes were well established, and the trade routes seem to stay consistent throughout all mound building societies for thousands of years. And in fact, they seem to expand, of course, over that thousands of years. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. A little bit of a different style video. Sorry if it didn't come out the best, or if I didn't explain things the best. I'm going to try and get better at this. But if you did enjoy, please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, you know, all that cool YouTube stuff. And until next time, it's been Doogie. I love ya.